What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to take a good old look at a brand new starter deck which is coming for the One Piece TCG. We are talking about starter deck 29. It is being themed around Egghead, and we have a tentative release date of the 16th of January. When I say the 16th of January being a tentative release date, you know what I mean at this point, right? The distributors are telling us this date, and where have they got the date from? Well, obviously they have to have gotten the date from Bandai, but until the date actually goes up on the official website, it is not yet confirmed. Very likely to be the 16th of January, but at this point still absolutely subject to change. Now, of course, when we talk about starter deck 29, that is because we've had starter deck 23 to 28. They were the last ones that actually got released, so then we get straight up into this. I am well aware that over in the West, outside of Japan essentially, we're actually getting starter deck 22 after starter deck 23 to 28. I am aware that that is a thing. We're getting them the wrong way round. So even though we've had 28, 29 isn't the next one out. 22 is the next one out, but we're doing some weird things as we head towards getting a simultaneous worldwide release. So yes, I'm well aware that actually we're getting 22 next, but then we're getting this one after. It's going to be fine. And this is kind of cool, honestly, because, well, to put it bluntly, we've been ignoring Egghead for a while now, and that's a little bit sad. It's nice that we're not ignoring it anymore now, isn't it? Here's what we're told by the distributors. AA starter deck using Egghead characters for a theme. Revive the adventures on Egghead with his new Straw Hat crew deck. Discover a new Luffy leader card, as well as new character cards featuring their Egghead outfits. A yellow deck with strong trigger cards, strong even on its own to catch up. Control both your own and your opponent's life cards to trigger powerful effects that can lead you to victory. This constructed deck is strong as is, making it perfect for beginners to start with. Bonus pack is included! This product includes a bonus pack containing 3 cards of a special finish, and then we got the content including a bonus pack, which again, we'll get to in a moment. So, yeah. This one sounds like fun, and there's no issues here. We're told it's a yellow deck. We're told there's a Luffy leader. Ergo, we are getting a mono yellow Luffy leader. No ifs, no buts, no maybes. We have to piece a whopping 2 bits of information together here, but we know at this stage that we are getting a yellow Luffy leader. Have we ever had a mono yellow Luffy leader before? No. We've had a dual black and yellow Luffy leader. It was also a starter deck leader back in starter deck 13. It was actually the one that gave us the BVB Luffy leader card, which is still one of my absolute favorite One Piece cards they've ever made. But we've never had a mono yellow Luffy so far. Well, now we have. We're changing it, and we know what it's going to look like, at least to some degree. We know it's going to be the Egghead Luffy. So take a look at the Luffy from OP07, for instance. That shows you what Luffy's going to look like. I am a gigantic fan of this Luffy, like this design of Luffy, this costume of Luffy, etc. Now, I am a little bit biased because I went to the One Piece Emotion event in Japan when it opened last year, and they had a big model of this Luffy, and this was where I kind of caught up to One Piece. When I was reading the manga, this was a point where I actually caught up with the story. So that makes me love Egghead a little bit more than maybe a lot of people. I don't care. I am loving this. And of course, we know that we're going to see a bunch of the other Eggheads in their Egghead suits. So here's a Chopper from OP07 showing what Chopper's going to look like. The Nico Robin from OP07 showing what Nico Robin's going to look like. The Frankie from OP07 showing what Frankie's going to look like. And here's the Nami. Although we have to flick forward to OP08 here, because there was no Egghead Nami in OP07. But we got one in OP08, so here's what Nami looks like on the Egghead Island. Now, it's important to note there's a bunch of other stuff that we see in Egghead. Jory Bonnie, big part of Egghead. Obviously, we've got characters like Lilith, a lot of the scientist characters. We're not expecting them because we are told it is a Straw Hat crew. So expect all the Straw Hats in their Egghead Island garb. Don't expect people like Bonnie or Lilith or even Vega Punk. And I'm not saying we won't get a Vega Punk, but I am saying that Vega Punk is not part of the Straw Hat crew. I don't think that is a controversial statement. Also, I didn't show you all the Straw Hat crew a minute ago. I showed you enough. We'll be fine. But don't expect to get a Vega Punk because Vega Punk is not the Straw Hat crew. So yeah, it's going to be Straw Hats. And the thing is, if we have a look at what we've had from Egghead so far, we've had exactly one leader. We have only had the Vega Punk from OP07. That is the only Egghead leader we've seen so far, which is kind of interesting because it seems like a really good leader, but there's just so many downsides. Firstly, we got 2 life, which is pitiful. And then secondly, you can't attack, but activate main once per turn, pay 1, and you get to play an Egghead card with a cost of 5 or less from your hand, or add it to the top of your life face up. And then we had a bunch of good Egghead cards. The Luffy I showed you a minute ago. Activate main, trash this character if you got 2 or less life. KO one of your opponent's 4 cost or less and draw a card. As a trigger, it KOs a 4 cost or less. This is a very nice card. Nico Robin's got a trigger that if your leader has the Egghead type, you draw 2 cards. That's a really nice draw engine. Tony Chopper is a trigger. You get to give one of your Egghead characters blocker this turn and then add this card to your hand. Frankie's got a trigger that draws a card, and if you got 1 or less life, you get to play it. And the Nami actually, he's got an on play, trash a card with trigger from your hand, KO a 5 cost or less, and if you got 3 or fewer cards in hand, draw 1. The point I'm making here is, we've got a lot of good Egghead cards, but right now, if you want to play an Egghead deck, you're locked behind the Vega Punk leader, which has seen a bit of play and a bit of success. And clearly could be a very good card, but also has not proven to be some kind of game-defining leader. Well, now we've got another chance with Luffy, and we're getting another bunch of yellow Egghead cards, but now we're going to be getting a new leader, along with these new cards, to try and make it up a little bit. We know it's an Egghead deck, we know it's a yellow deck, we know we got a Luffy leader, and I've not shown you all the Egghead cards we've had previously, but I've shown you a few of them, giving you a little bit of a taste. You add up everything that we've had previously, there's a lot to get excited about here. Because we had some Egghead in OP07, and then we got a bunch more in OP08, and then we had like Sanji and Brook in OP09, and Vega Punk in EB02. And since OP08, that's what we've had. 2 in OP09, 1 in EB02. That's it. Those are the 3 Egghead cards we've had since OP08, and Japan's just had OP12. So we've been a bit starved for Egghead for a while now, and we've only had 1 leader. This is making me pretty excited. Now, in terms of the bonus cards, we know roughly what they're going to look like, but we don't know exactly. Because obviously, we can go back to Starter Deck 13, for instance, where the leader Luffy looked a little bit like this, and then the characters looked a little bit like this. Same kind of design. Okay, that's the way they're doing it. We can move on with our lives. But then we got Starter Deck 21, where the leader still looked like this, but now the characters, and we got an Egghead, so come on, I'm showing you that one, looked like this. Different design. Okay. So we're changing around how we do this then, right? Well, no, not necessarily, because Starter Deck 22, the leader looked like this still, but now the characters were back looking like this. So all I can tell you is the leader is going to have, look at the leaders from all 3 of them so far. We know what the leader's going to look like. It's going to have this style of card. I think that's a very fair prediction. But in terms of what the character's going to look like, we've got a couple different options, and we're going to have to wait and see as to which one Bandai chooses to go with. Or maybe they do something completely different, because let's face it, at this stage, there is actually precedent for changing things up, mixing it up, doing things a little bit different. Either way, I've told you all about this now, ladies and gentlemen. I've told you everything you need to know. So now it's over to you guys. Are you excited for this new deck? Have you been waiting for the return of Egghead like I am? Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about One Piece and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.